Hello, my name is Kent Field, and thank you for tuning into this YouTube channel, The Bible versus Opinions. God bless you in your search for the truth. While all people have opinions on many subjects, including the Bible and religion, not all opinions carry the same weight or value. For example, would you go to a plumber for his advice on brain surgery? Would you go to a mechanic for his advice on heart surgery? The point is, not all opinions carry the same weight or value on a particular subject. That's why I'm not offering you my mere opinion, but Bible answers alone. So here's the challenge. Are you open to learning beyond your current understanding and knowledge of the Bible? If so, then this channel is for you. If these studies have helped you to grow in your understanding of the Bible, or even life itself, please like and subscribe and share this channel with others so that they too may be challenged and grow in their understanding of the Scriptures.
So, when we talk about church leadership, we're talking about sacrifice. Sacrifice, first of all, of unqualified leadership, or sacrifice of some of the methods of our leadership. We might not need to sacrifice our position just yet if we're willing to sacrifice the way we've been doing things. Who among you, raise your hands high, who have been doing everything perfectly in the way you conduct yourself in the church? Raise your hands high. Somebody hold his hands down. And you notice my hands are tied behind my back. I have to get somebody to untie them now. That means there's room for improvement. And that means there's room for improvement in the way we look at one another, again with patience and forbearance and loving one another, even if you don't care for that guy very much. Or you argued with him last time. Or he insulted you. Let me tell you, at our family get-togethers, we were either dancing and playing. I can remember a friend of mine named Carl, and his father and his uncle would come over. One would play the accordion, the other one would play a little electric organ, and we'd put out records of the Chubby Checker and the Twist, and me and my cousin would be doing the Twist. You know, and this is way back in the early 60s. Okay, and we had Super 8 video movies my uncle took of those times with this huge umbrella of big bright lights to try to give enough light on the thing. All those movies were lost in a fire. They don't exist. All the pictures are basically gone, but I had a couple. Even as a kid, I cherished those times. And so, yeah, I didn't like the times that my father and uncle would almost come to fisticuffs and threats with one another. Or other people be arguing about something, and one of the relatives say to the other one, "What are you, some kind of imbecile?" Now, if we said to somebody in the church, they might not come back again. Or they might, I'm changing my member. I'm going to another congregation. You call me an imbecile. Well, join the club. I've been called worse. And I'm here. And I'm here. So we need to get rid of all the chains that are holding us down. Get rid of that sin that so easily entangles us. And be willing to just go, what does the Word say? Today's lesson is going to be, what will the New Testament pattern of church leadership produce? Now, I'm still going to talk about what the worldly pattern has produced. That's what I talked about last week. Today, I'm going to talk about what does the New Testament pattern produce. Now, I still didn't get into the pattern yet. Next week, we're going to go into what are the different kinds or positions of leadership in the church. Not just today, but in the first century. And today. Right through. What are the different positions of leadership? But that's next week. Right now I want to go into, I want us to get interested in knowing about those kinds of leadership and what those labels or positions, those offices are, and their qualifications by seeing what the result would be if we'd have them. And it really is pretty simple. But before we get there, on this last thought about family and so forth, look at James. The book of James, chapter 4, I believe it is. Yes. When we fight and argue with one another about how things should be done, just remember that opinions are like feet. We all have them and they almost all stink. Right? Oh, I'm sorry, not yours, but everybody else's stinks. Their feet. Okay? I know mine do. And opinions are like that. And they're a very cheap commodity unless you're highly trained, in which case your opinion may be worth more than somebody else's. For example, if you're a neurosurgeon and you've gone to years of medical school and had done dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of brain surgeries, I would trust your opinion about the treatment for my brain tumor above, say, Brother Cox. Now, I don't know. Are you a brain surgeon?
If you want me to be.
No. I don't want you necessarily to be. But the point is, if you are, then maybe I just misspoke, is what I'm saying. Because if you're a neurosurgeon, then your opinion is worth more than an auto mechanic in the field of brain surgery, isn't it?
Right.
Huh? Because it's an educated opinion. Simple. That's why we have teachers, even in Christ. Because somebody says, I don't know the answer to that question. Like the Ethiopian eunuch. I don't know. Who is this man speaking about? Of himself or of some other man? And then he invited Philip to come up and come into the chariot and teach him. He said, I don't know, except some man teach me. It's simple. It's simple. So, we need to realize that we need to be willing to throw off these prideful shackles, these prideful bindings that bind us, that hold us down and hold us back. Each of you needs to think about what is holding me back in serving my Lord. What is the source of quarrels and conflicts among you? Oh, you know what that points out, though? Were there conflicts and quarrels among them? There were. First century church, there were, weren't there? And so he says, well, what's the source of that? Is not your source your pleasures that wage war in your members? You lust, but you don't have. So you commit murder. You know, we kill one another all the time. Oh, we might not get sentenced for an actual literal murder, but we murder all the time. I knew people that they'd say, I love you, brother, I love you, brother, and I could hear them muttering. They didn't say this, but I could hear it because I knew what they were thinking. I wish you were dead.
Well, it's like basically you bless you with their mouth and inwardly they curse you.
Yeah, I love you, brother. I wish you were dead. What was that? Nothing. Is your name Fred? And you're envious. And you can't obtain. So you fight. And you quarrel. And you don't have because you don't ask. Well, we'd like to be trained about, we'd like to be better leaders. Well, you don't get that because you haven't been asked. Well, how do we do that? Well, finally, I know one congregation has. And I know a few people on the web have been already, for the first session, watching the video. and have gotten back to me on it and said they liked it and are sharing it with some people that they teach. You ask, but you don't receive because you ask from wrong motives. Impure, I think King James says. King James, impure motives. So that you can spend it on your own pleasures. And we'll fight about whether the pews need to be padded, whether they need to be pews or chairs, to the point where people will leave a church over those issues. And it's crazy. Exactly right. Thank you, sister. That's crazy. It's not only crazy, it's stupid. It's evil. So, then he tells them, and he's talking to brethren, right? He's talking to the church. You adulteresses. Don't you know that friendship with the world is hostility toward God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. And that goes back to this whole thing of trying to run the church like a man-made state corporate corporation, as opposed to the Lord's church. Yes, satisfy the law as far as the law goes, but not over what this book says. That's it. Well, we need to obey the existing laws and ordinances of man. Yes, until it contradicts this. Until it starts directing us on what qualifications leaders of a church must have. This is it, right here. This is the rule. At least for me.
Thanks for being a part of that study segment. I promise you that, Lord willing, there's more to come. With the understanding that the mind can only absorb what the seat can endure, many of these studies have been broken up into a series of bite-sized segments. So be sure to look for the next segment in each Bible study subject, so you won't miss out on any important information. Please like and subscribe if you feel that this lesson's helped you, and God bless you in your search for truth.